Hello. Uh, on air soon. You can hear me okay? Okay, ready when you are. Hello, Rob. Yes, 40th anniversary. Thank you so much for having me on the show. My dad was indeed the pioneer. I was still a teenager at his career. He went from school to university, then to the bank. Well, yes, he was a natural performer. Though poor old Mum always learnt his lines by default, dram. I remember the Mikado, his Lord High Executioner. Sorry, did we notice what? That he had regrets, especially as he was the first. Well, he was always upbeat with me, despite the critics. He said to me, "It's my real self with no limitations." Two sides to every coin, of course. But he was the most courageous man, and he wanted the very best for us. Well, Rob, it's true. He had his health problems, and there were accusations from some at the bank. Yes, Rob, talk about missing money, but that's all it was. Talk. It was baseless, as you know. And it was nothing to do with the reality show's proposal. That came afterwards. No, it didn't influence his decision to take part. Mum wasn't entirely happy, but you have to understand, he and Mum, they always stuck together. Well, that's it. It was definitely not scientist led. It was reality TV and advertising led, and entertainment. That's why I've written the book, A Mind of Our Own. I want to set the record straight. He signed what was plainly an unfair contract, you see. Children and spouses have rights to their own father and husband, image and file. The corporations and government regulators should admit that. Yes, Rob. Bank-backed conglomerates in IT, gaming, audio, TV. Well, not your station, of course, but certain of your rivals. But my research has also uncovered new National Archive material. The private finance initiative's previously unknown, unseen role, they're so-called private, but they couldn't have done anything without public servants signing it off. You see, all the money has to go through and be processed by a government department, and the government distributes it to the private firms. They try to hide that. Even the technology came from a joint project between the Ministry of Defence and the NHS. The original show? Well, that's been on DVD and TV catch-up for years, and of course there's a few pirated YouTube videos. But the series on his mind transfer to digital file and the plastic surgery, it was the first time it was literally plastic surgery. Well, that's been downloaded, sold and rented millions, well, billions of times. Even with a plastic carcass, Rob, some things are eternal. It's still a man's spirit in there. The guy in the urinal holding a mobile phone to his ear in one hand, making deals, and in the other. Of course, there's politics. There's always politics. Dad was very clear. He was a pioneer in this. The body, he said, shapes the mind, but not having it also shapes the mind. No frail flesh, except for untransferred critics. Like my mum. We know that transfer freezes allows war games with real people, yet with no casualties. We have love, but never physical betrayal. We have sex, but nobody can rape our carcasses. Our bodies can't be stricken by disease. Yes, my mum is a critic. Untransferred, unlike you and me, but we also do need untransferred youngsters to breed baby fresh minds, and it's good having critics like her in our democracy. Mum chose old age. She says, "I'm a token legal safeguard amongst you frauds." You have to understand, it's so easy for the conspiracy theorists. I mean, they think experimentation, cut and dried. Well, if only. I mean, we didn't know it at the time, of course, but it was really just about money. The pension funds. But it's true there were rows. What couple doesn't, Rob? Oh, but the tabloids set up the photos. You see, Dad didn't realise until after the op that he'd signed everything away, and we couldn't get any money otherwise. He wasn't really having an affair. The soap star with a real you-know-what, and him with a plastic thingamajig. I mean, it's so ridiculous that people fell for that tabloid setup. No. No, Mum's a very private person, doesn't give interviews. No, Rob, the tabloids got it wrong, or put it wrong. We didn't give Dad away to the corporation, the government did. I suppose he did have regrets. He must have wanted an end, slashing his plastic carcass like that. But what they're doing is inhuman. We've never claimed the technology patents. They were carved up by media companies and their investors, union and civil service pension funds, even before the huge audience ratings, and now nearly all the population are transfers. But we're not even after the revenue streams from all the mind, men patches and other tech byproducts that are needed for this huge captive market. It's not that. It's the use of Dad and his image that should be ours, not theirs. It's his intellect, our intellectual property, my genes. His digital mind file is ours. And the animations and computer games, well, they should all be licensed by us. No, Rob. The regulators refuse to act. And we haven't got legal insurance. We can't afford the courts. Do you know, civil servants froze my parents' joint bank account. Civil servants whom we pay. The bank said they could do it because he was the first name, because the husband, the mister, always comes first. But it was a joint bank account. I mean, it must seem so simple to an outsider, but you have to live it to understand that once the state refuses to do anything and leaves it to self-regulation, the vultures gather and they take advantage and nothing fits together. They do what they like. They're insured. They outsourced Dad's file with a subcontractor and deducted massive fees in the Secretary of State's name. They handed Dad his mind file to a corporation which once even sent us a bill, thinking that we didn't know it was already paid by the government department. And then they threatened us with bailiffs when we didn't pay. Is it about money or morals? I sometimes think if the resources ran out, great. No electricity. The whole damn mine data bank would explode. Kapow! Aliens invading Earth would find our charred plastic carcasses, their burnt out microchips, and they'd wonder, where are the life forms? What is it all about? Ethics or electricity? Yes, thank you, Rob. My book. It's called A Mind of Our Own. It shows how all of this could have happened to anyone. It's on sale from tomorrow in all good booksellers or downloadable from retail websites or www.amindofourown.co.uk. And all proceeds go towards our fight to get Dad back. Donations on our website are also very welcome. Well, thank you, Rob. It was a great pleasure talking to you too. A real pleasure.